Welcome to my channel. Today I want to share with you something that has changed my mornings completely. For years I used to wake up feeling restless, with my thoughts already running ahead of me before my feet even touched the ground. But as I grew older, I realized that the way we begin our day shapes how we live it. I discovered that a calm morning routine, built on Stoic principles, brings a sense of order and peace that carries through the entire day. Stoicism for seniors is not about denying emotion, but learning to live with wisdom and balance. Each morning can be a quiet conversation with yourself where you choose calm over chaos. It is a practice of grounding yourself before the world begins to move. When I first started practicing Stoic mornings, I was surprised by how small changes made a great difference. I stopped reaching for my phone as soon as I opened my eyes. Instead, I began by taking a few deep breaths and feeling grateful that I woke up to another day. The single act of awareness helped me stop rushing and start observing. The Stoics believed that every morning is an opportunity to start anew, to face life with courage and clarity. By acknowledging that we control our attitude even if we cannot control the day, we begin with power. This mindset reminds me that aging is not about losing time, but about gaining wisdom. The calm we create early becomes our shield for the rest of the day. My mornings now begin with silence. I sit by the window and let the light of dawn slowly enter the room. I breathe deeply and think of Marcus Aurelius, who wrote in his Meditations that each day we should rise prepared to meet people and situations with patience. That thought alone helps me set realistic expectations. I remind myself that some things will go wrong, but I can choose how to respond. The stillness of the early hours is the perfect time to strengthen our inner peace. It is in these quiet minutes that we practice the art of calmness before the noise begins. The Stoic morning is not about perfection, but preparation. After a few moments of reflection, I usually move to gentle stretching. My body may not be as flexible as it once was, but movement reminds me of gratitude for what still works. Stoicism teaches acceptance of what we have and the discipline to take care of it. Every stretch becomes a thank you to my body for carrying me through another day. I no longer push it harshly, but guide it kindly. This slow and mindful movement connects my physical and mental energy. It tells me that strength is not speed or intensity, but steadiness. That is something I have learned only with age. Once my body feels awake, I spend a few minutes journaling. Writing down my thoughts has become one of the most healing Stoic practices I know. I write about what I can control and what I must release. Sometimes I list 3 things I am grateful for and 3 things I can do to make the day meaningful. This practice clears the mental clutter before it begins. It is surprising how much peace you can gain by seeing your thoughts on paper instead of letting them race in your head. My journal has become my quiet companion. It does not judge me, but gently reminds me of what truly matters. One key Stoic idea that shapes my mornings is the dichotomy of control. Understanding what we can and cannot control is at the heart of Stoic peace. Each morning I repeat to myself that I cannot control the weather, other people, or aging itself, but I can control my reactions, my kindness, and my mindset. This single shift in thinking has saved me from countless moments of frustration. It is not resignation, but liberation. The less we struggle against the uncontrollable, the lighter we live. It is a lesson that brings me back to center every time life feels heavy. Another important habit I have added is reading a short passage of Stoic text. It could be a few lines from Seneca or Epictetus. These writings are like quiet conversations with wise friends from long ago. They remind me that even thousands of years ago people faced fear, loss, and uncertainty just as we do today. Their calm words cut through the noise of modern life. Reading a short passage gives me a sense of companionship and perspective. It is comforting to know that human challenges remain the same, and so do the solutions. Wisdom does not age. Sometimes I end my reflection by making a cup of tea. There is something deeply meditative about the ritual, the sound of water boiling, the steam rising, and the warmth of the cup in my hands ground me in the present moment. Stoicism is about being fully here now, not trapped in regrets or worries. A warm cup becomes a reminder of gratitude for simple pleasures. The more I practice this awareness, the more I realize happiness hides in plain sight. We only need to pause long enough to see it. That is what Stoic mornings teach me again and again. In my younger years, I used to think productivity meant rushing from one task to another. Now I understand that true productivity begins with calm clarity. By taking time for stillness in the morning, I actually accomplish more with less stress. My mind becomes sharper, my emotions more stable, and my interactions kinder. The Stoics believed that peace and efficiency go hand in hand. When we are centered, we choose our actions wisely. The calm mind is not lazy, it is disciplined, and that discipline gives life a smoother rhythm. There are mornings when I do not feel strong. Pain in the joints or heavy thoughts can make it harder to begin the day. But those are the days when Stoicism helps the most. It teaches that even when we cannot change our circumstances, we can still choose our attitude. I remind myself that discomfort is temporary, but resilience lasts. Sometimes I whisper to myself that every small act of courage counts. Simply getting out of bed with gratitude can be a victory. The Stoic path does not promise ease, but it guarantees dignity. Aging brings many lessons about impermanence. Stoicism helps us face these lessons without fear. When I see the wrinkles in the mirror, I no longer feel sadness but understanding. Everything in nature changes, and so do we. The Stoic morning is a reminder that every new sunrise is a gift, not a given. By starting the day with acceptance, I find it easier to handle the changes that come with time. The heart becomes lighter when it stops fighting reality. Acceptance becomes the doorway to peace. I have also found value in spending a few moments each morning outdoors. Feeling the fresh air and hearing the birds reminds me that life continues to move gracefully. Nature has always been a great Stoic teacher. It shows us resilience, balance, and renewal. Watching a leaf fall or a flower bloom brings quiet wisdom. Nature does not rush, yet everything gets done. When I align my morning rhythm with nature, I feel part of something larger and calmer. Over the years, I noticed that how we talk to ourselves in the morning shapes our confidence. Stoicism encourages gentle self-talk rooted in truth. Instead of saying I am too old or too tired, I now say I am still learning and still growing. These simple affirmations change how I approach the day. They replace complaint with gratitude. They transform self-doubt into quiet strength. The Stoic morning is a conversation with your inner self filled with honesty and compassion. I sometimes think about the past when I used to start my days in a rush, turning on the news and feeling overwhelmed before breakfast. That habit fed anxiety instead of awareness. Now my mornings are quieter but much more alive. I no longer need constant information to feel connected. Instead, I connect with myself first. That small shift has made all the difference. The Stoic approach to mornings is about choosing peace over panic. There's also something powerful about planning the day ahead with Stoic principles. I remind myself that I can plan my actions, but not their outcomes. This helps me stay realistic and calm even when things go differently. Each task becomes an opportunity to practice patience, kindness, and resilience. Planning with humility allows flexibility when life surprises us. It keeps expectations grounded and joy accessible. I find that the day flows smoother when I begin it this way. When I talk to friends my age, many of them say mornings feel lonely. But solitude can be transformed into serenity. Stoicism teaches that being alone is not being empty. It is a space for reflection and renewal. I often think of it as recharging the soul before sharing it with others. A Stoic morning reminds us that peace begins within. Once you find it there, you bring it into every conversation and every action during the day. I encourage everyone, especially seniors, to experiment with these routines. You do not need to do all of them at once. Start with one small practice, perhaps mindful breathing or journaling. The beauty of Stoic mornings is that they are simple yet powerful. They cost nothing but bring great returns in peace and clarity. Over time, these practices become part of who you are. They gently transform anxiety into calm and confusion into confidence. Many people ask whether Stoicism is too rigid for daily life. I believe it is actually one of the most flexible philosophies ever created. It adapts to every season of life, including our later years. Its wisdom does not fade with age, it deepens. When we apply it to our mornings, we give ourselves the gift of direction and stability. Stoicism for seniors is not about controlling life, but mastering response. That mastery begins each morning in the quiet moments before the day begins. As I look back, I realize that the greatest benefit of a Stoic morning routine is self-trust. Each calm start builds confidence that you can face whatever comes. You stop fearing uncertainty because you have already built strength inside. You begin to notice how peace grows naturally when you nurture it daily. It is like tending a garden.